something to do with guys on the roof. Hammering the shingles down and everything, and that was just enough of a little vibration. Her house, her house is a cottage kind of style, so. They were right above where she was putting the roof on. I think that vibration probably got it started. And it just came down catastrophically. Wow. And Jimmy Cole said he's only seen one other one like that ever in his life. In Westview, that they had a house where a living room, ceiling not as big as this one, came down. Well, but
Dorothy like 13 to confirm, so I think everyone's just gonna shoot it here and other side. Right. Okay. So the whole kitchen came down.
you're kidding.
She went for 1.5. I think we should be well past that.
The insurance one cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it metal lath or was it just like lath and plaster?
I think. Wax.
See, lath and plaster, it'll fall down in sections, but not the
Yeah.
whole thing, you know,
Right.
a big chunk of it comes down. But this stuff, once it started a cascade, just kept pulling more and more nails up, it just all came down.
Yeah, they're smooth.
Yeah.
That's why I say that I do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a quick test. Everyone on Zoom, just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me on your end.
Never mind.
Thumbs up.
We got one.
We have a little bit of a infrastructure change in the room here. So I just want to make sure that it's smooth sailing for you guys. Let's give it another minute or two. We have a quorum already. I guess now, I think we're gonna have pretty close to full.
Awesome.
That's
very good. Late November. Yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there?
It's random. I'm scared of that.
Glasses.
Oh, I don't have glasses.
That's an old people. Get your days mixed up.
Yeah. Well, no,
My mother does that, she's 91.
We have 12 now, so we
All
can
right.
start.
All right, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. I'll now call to order the Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 meeting of the Quaker Valley Council of Governments Board of Delegates regular meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Patrick, we have roll call.
Certainly. Aleppo Township,
Present.
Avalon Borough,
Present.
Bell Acres, Bellevue,
Here.
Van Aven Borough,
Here.
Van Aven Heights Borough,
Present.
Edgeworth, Emsworth Borough,
here.
Glen Osmore Borough,
Here.
Glenfield, Hayesville, Killbuck Township,
Here.
Leek Township,
Here.
Leetsdale Borough, Swiftley Borough,
Here.
Swiftley Heights, Swiftley Hills.
Here.
That's a quorum.
All right. I don't think we have anyone from the public, do we?
Yep.
No public comments. We'll move on to approval of the October 15th, 2025 meeting minutes. I'll take a motion to approve. Okay, any questions or comments on the meeting minutes? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Item 6, approval of October financial reports, unpaid bills list, and payroll summary. I'll take a motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Patrick, you wanted to give just a brief summary?
Sure. I think we're in really good shape. Again, it's at the end of the year, so we dipped below $100,000 for the first time at, this year in our general fund, but as soon as January, February comes rolling around, we'll send out the dues invoices. So, bills, business as usual. Obviously a budget passed a few months ago, so we'll have a new, budget sheet for you to look at not next month, but January. But really good shape, I think, and be happy to answer any questions regarding the budget or bills or anything like that.
Any questions? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I would just note real quick on the bills, we had a few grant projects that were paid out. So you'll see here on the screen, we paid out 3 CDBG bills. One was to independent enterprises in the amount of 36,498. One was for Edgeworth Borough as a reimbursement because they paid the contractor preeminently, and then we just reimbursed the borough 39,092. And then this was a big one. This was our streetscapes project in Bellevue, 197,271.28. And they then landscaping. Again, that's for the streetscape project. That's a $600,000 grant. So we'll see close to another $400,000 be cycled through in the next couple months. One gaming project that was to Leak Township, again, as a reimbursement. This was for engineering costs that were incurred for the project, $4,264.91.
Okay, and that motion passed, Patrick. Well, we can move on to item number 7, President's Report. I'd like to congratulate one of the newest elected councilmen of Whitehall Borough, Patrick Connors. Won his election. So congratulations, Patrick. I think you're gonna be a great asset to your borough. And it will also be good for the COG for you to have that experience that's similar to all of us. So you can see it from that perspective as well.
Now, very excited. Thank you very much for the kind words.
I also just wanted to comment on the importance of the Norfolk Southern meeting that was had last week, which Patrick maybe will expand on. I unfortunately was not able to make it, but Representative Gatos did I guess she was the person who got the meeting together with a representative from Norfolk Southern Railroad, so now we have a contact. So yes, now we have a contact. So there were a bunch of representatives from various boroughs that were at that meeting, and I'm just really glad to see that happen after we've been talking about the railroad for a couple of years. And then finally, I don't know, we do have a meeting next month, don't we? Okay. I just want to say, well, we have so many people here tonight, because who knows what next month is going to look like, but I just want to say, I think we're finishing the year really strong. And it's so amazing to have 2 new boroughs on board with us this year. I think that, again, I just want to reiterate that this COG can be whatever we make it. It's what we decide we want it to be. And so, Patrick and I are open to ideas for anything that anybody wants to do next year or focus on or explore. Maybe special guests to come in or any kind of topics that you want to see. We are open to doing that to make it valuable for you and your communities. So thank you so much for being here and attending these meetings and giving up your time to do that. And thank you for a great year. And hopefully I'll get to say that again next month when we're back here. It's still the same year. All right. That's it for the president's report. So we'll move on to the Route 65 report.
Yeah, so we'll have an item coming up under new business regarding the welcome signage. So that's sort of tied into our Route 65. A lot of the signage that would probably be installed would be along the boulevard there. The other news is next month I am in the process of finalizing some members from the city of Pittsburgh, the Manchester Citizens Group, and Michael Baker International to come in and highlight some of their public engagement sessions they're going to be putting together in 2026. And they're really, really excited to bring our communities into the fold, understand, what we want to see, what the impact could be. So keep an eye out for that. We should have some representation from those groups in December. So that's it for the report.
Okay, moving on to Emergency Preparedness Committee update. Is there any update from that committee?
Yeah, I guess we'll just highlight the Norfolk Southern discussion as Julie alluded to. I want to say there was probably 7 communities that came out that were represented, had an opportunity to ask questions and just understand what Norfolk Southern's doing, what they have as far as emergency service contacts. What we received was basically 1 contact, and the suggestion that basically contact your fire department or your emergency management coordinator when those situations arise. Otherwise, there's phone numbers on the railroad crossings. If there's ever an issue with that, you're advised to contact those phone numbers on the railroad crossings. They have the listing of the crossing at each crossing. So a lot of those contacts are in place. I was hoping, and I sort of really try to push the idea of, hey, let's get a roster of contacts that we can distribute to our communities. They weren't really interested in doing that. But I do have the one contact, Jeremy Shoemaker. After I send the draft meeting minutes for this meeting, I'll include his business card front and back. That way you guys have it handy. And he encouraged, if you have questions, contact him. And again, when things really get dicey or you have specific concerns, reach out to the fire department, reach out to those numbers in the crossings. That was really the best advice I got from them. Wish we got a little more information though. But
What was Jeremy's title or responsibility?
government relations representative for basically like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio.
He should be everywhere. Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, again, he was a good talker. He knew what to say when you asked questions, but I wish we got a little more meat off the bone for him, again, thankful for Representative Gatos to organize it. It was proactive. So that was nice to see, them come out, but again, I wish we got a little more out of them.
I don't know how. That's a big operation. They got 43,000 employees. So I only talked with them once and that was the end of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much.
That was also like 4 or 5 years ago, so.
He did mention that they do have trainings where you can actually go on like a sample car. It's really engineered for those people that would be responding, your firefighters or police officers. Shows you how to turn off the valves and stop leaks and everything like that. So that's I forget what the railroad in like Beaver County, there's like a railroad hub. I forget what the name of it's called, but he said the next time it's in town, he'd reach out to us. I'd try to highlight that we could be a channel to get news out to a lot of people all at once. Obviously, the same thing for Representative Gatos.
You're talking about Conway?
Conway, that's it.
One-way yard, yeah.
That is a big operation.
Isn't it named after Conrail? I'm assuming Conway.
Probably.
But yeah, that was the town.
Okay. Any questions or comments before we move on? Okay, moving on to item 10, grant status report.
Yeah, so some exciting news. Let me go ahead and share the screen real quick. Back to our meeting packet. So this was not included in your packets because I just got notification of these grant awards yesterday at like 4 o'clock. So we're always one of the last to know somehow. But we got notification of our GEDTF grant awards. And we applied for 16 total grants this past cycle. You might recall in August, we hit submit on those grants. And we got notification of quite a few of them getting awarded. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 awards, totaling $780,000.
Wow.
That's the most we've ever received, right? So we'll go through the list real quick. Glenfield Borough, they were awarded $125,000 for the East Beaver Street Road Rehabilitation Program. To my knowledge, I think this is the first grant that we've received on behalf of Glenfield, so really excited to work with them, or at least in my tenure. So I don't want to speak for all 50 years of the COG, but in my tenure, this is the first time we've been able to get some money for the borough. Really excited to work with them on. Lee Township received $75,000 for a salt storage facility in the township. Burn Hollow Nature Center received $84,000 for a community center project. So this is part of their like master plan to upgrade the center. Sewickley Borough received $150,000 for sidewalk projects in Beaver and Broad Street. So really excited for that. Edgeworth Borough, $251,000 for the signal here at Academy Avenue. That's been giving them problems, I guess, for almost a year now. So that's going to put a big dent in getting that project up and running. And that affects the Academy and Sewickley Borough as well. So really excited that got funded. Van Haven Borough Municipal Building ADA Access Ramp Project. So this is the ongoing rehabilitation of their municipal building. We received money in the past for their second story roof and insulation. So this is the continuation of that. And they've received money for an elevator in the past. So this is really an ongoing project for the borough. And last but not least, Bellevue Borough received $40,000 for the Bain Park ADA restroom project. And this is the third installment of grant funds we've got for that project. As you can see, a lot of these awards come in a little lower than what we've requested. They're really spreading the money out as I'm seeing over the years. But you know, some of the scope and scale of these projects is going to need to be reduced a little bit, or the local match is going to need to increase. But regardless, great news. That's almost $200,000 more in GEDTF funding for our region than we got last year. And last year was the first year we had $600,000. So we're seeing more and more money come into our communities. Really good news. So congratulations on everyone that did get the award. If you didn't, don't worry, try again next year, keep it up. You know, it's really a copy and paste. Once we have that documentation in place, we can try again next year and really get in the ear of your local representatives, right? Your state senator, your state rep. Next year, if you didn't get an award this year, keep on them because those are the power players that really make this happen. So again, congratulations for those that got the awards this year.
I heard the whole county was 3 million and we got 780,000 of 3 million.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. That's like a quarter.
You know, I will say, for those of you who've been around here for the past several years, this is amazing
Yeah.
progress. I wish Barbara were here right now to see this. Because we were just, it was probably 3-4 years ago where I was just encouraging people because we saw all this money coming from the federal level, but this is actually the gaming grant, so this is from our casino. So this is just fabulous. Thank you, Patrick. That is wonderful. And I think it's just because we keep talking about it. We're all doing it. Everyone's applying now, and look how much we're getting. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
You can't win if you don't play. So this is,
Right.
that's the old adage. And again, the best advice I have when you do submit, when you do have interest in applying is keeping on your local state senator or your state representative. After you submit, keep reminding them, but know how important it is. So that paid off. These communities obviously did that. So thank you for your efforts. And again, we'll get these under contract with the county. And, you know, that's a time consuming process. It takes a while, but this isn't like the money's gonna come to your communities tomorrow, but it's coming. So that's the most important thing. Any questions on the grants or anything from the group?
That's amazing. So that was grant status report. Are we still on executive director's report?
That was the grant status report.
Yeah, so we can move on to executive director's report.
Yep, we'll just keep scrolling along here. Okay, just a reminder for those that might not be aware, Local Government Academy puts on a training every 2 years for newly elected officials. So this is a crash course for those that are new to the game or just want a refresher course. It's over the course of a few months. It's in person and it's mostly in person, but there are some components on Zoom. The registration for it opened. It is capped. I don't know what the number of it is, maybe 200 people, 220 people. But if you're interested, or if you have new people on your councils, please relay this information. It's great. They do such a great job. They bring in experts from law firms, engineering firms. They bring in police chiefs, fire chiefs. They tell you how to make a budget, everything that you can think of that you're going to do as a council person. It's in this course. So all the information is on localgovernmentacademy.org. And again, it is capped at a certain number. You want to make sure that you get registered if you're interested sooner rather than later. This is kind of late.
I would very strongly support that. When I joined, I first came here, I think about 8 or 9 years ago. And I really knew nothing whatsoever about any municipal functionings or so whatever. And I learned so much. It was unbelievable. I strongly suggest that you attend.
Yeah, and again, you meet so many people in that course. Again, you have 200 people, right? And you might not know someone from the borough next door or the township down the street, but you're going to get to know them over the course of those 5 or 6 classroom sessions. So those are contacts you build up as well as all the professional experts that come in to do the presentation. So again, please take a look at that if you're interested, or pass the word on to your new council people. A little bit late, but it's right around the corner here. November 21st is the deadline for municipal intern program applications. Again, through Local Government Academy. I'm not sure if any of our communities did apply, but if you did, please reach out to me. Let me know what you had in mind. Waiting for that. So next up, hard to recycle recap. We had 400 cars swing by for our hard to recycle event on October 18th. So this is the first meeting since that event. Thank you, Daryl, coming out. Rhoda, thank you for everybody for getting the word out there and helping promote the event. That's the biggest event we've had. And again, it's in the last 5 years. I can't speak to what happened before, but usually you're at the 300 level, 320 cars, 400 cars. So we had tons of stuff. It's always interesting to see what people bring out, right? Last year, the big thing was dehumidifiers. This year, I think it was more flat screen TVs. I thought there was more
Yeah,
of
there are a
those
lot of those, yeah.
than previous years.
There's a lot of stuff, I mean, a lot of different stuff, it's across the spectrum.
So again, it's really fun to see what people bring out, how people divert those from ending up down the hillside or into the landfill. So they do a great job organizing the event at PRC. So again, thanks for everyone for helping promote that and making it a reality.
Did you get any feedback from PRC on that location? Because that was the first time it was up at Northgate High School and for Bellevue Avalon. Did they say anything about the location?
Nothing negative. I think they were, again, it was the first time we were in that part of the COG. Usually it's been in Leaksdale in previous years. It was pretty tight. I'll just say that from my experience there. There was some times where there was some backups
Yeah.
but I think again,
We were fine.
yeah, I thought it did the job. 400 people got there in and out safely. And they 40,000 pounds of stuff found its way to the appropriate parties. So
Stuff.
stuff, that's the best way to put it, right?
You name it, it's there. Like electronics you haven't seen in 30 years or old stuff.
Commodore 64. Okay, I don't even know what that is, but it was more fun to watch the PRC guys like
Oh,
geek
yeah.
out on certain things.
And they
like,
shop they shop sometimes.
Yeah, they
Stand around the bins going.
But that was
"Think I'll-
one thing I
I'll take that with
remember.
me."
They were like,
Yeah.
"Is this a Commodore 64?" And I was like, I don't know what that is, but apparently it is. It's fun.
We were up when they first opened, and it was backed up to that apartment building up Union Avenue.
Yeah,
Oh,
Which isn't good.
Hillcrest. No.
Yeah, it was back to
yeah,
their.
back there is not a good thing. It's
So people were
blocking you.
turning around, doing all sorts of stupid stuff, but when we came out, it was at the bottom of the driveway at North Gate,
No.
so,
Yeah, it's like people queue up a little earlier sometimes in their assigned slots.
yeah.
I
And they
think-
don't say no.
Yeah.
I think Avonworth has a big parking lot too that would work as well as North, it'd better. So there's no big main road right below it.
Yeah,
So.
lessons learned, and you keep your ears open or eyes open for spots. But yeah, again, I'm thankful that we had a spot at Northgate. So
Right.
and thank you for the Bellevue team for helping organize that. Next up, the managers and secretaries holiday luncheon. So we'll get together at the Aleppo Township Municipal Building on December 4th, 11 a.m. We're gonna get it catered by Chick-fil-A. We've done it the past couple of years. They're always consistent and you can pick it up before 11 o'clock, no problem. So that'll be on the 4th, something we've done the last couple of years, and just an opportunity to thank the staff and administrators that work for our communities. And have a little bit of fun before the end of the year. Last but not least, the local share account grant. Again, we're running out of time really quick. We have 11 days until the deadline, really probably closer to like a week until the deadline, because I don't want to be asking engineers for things over Thanksgiving. But if you have an application, please reach out. Let's get that information as soon as possible so we can get it processed through the state's website, right? As you'll see later on, we have one resolution to approve. But if your communities, anyone on the call has a project that you haven't already submitted, let's get that done soon. So that's the report.
Okay, any feedback for Patrick about his report?
Well done.
Very nice, thank you. All right, let's move on to new business. First will be the consideration of a partnership with Chatham University for the development of a sustainability engagement toolkit.
You guys are gonna hear a lot from me today. So, so this is gonna be like kind of a two-phased approach, this agenda item and the next one. As you guys know, our waste and recycling contract expires the end of next year. So we want to get a head start on taking a look at our specifications and getting ready to put this out to bid. Probably in August, July, sometime in that time frame next year, for the next 5-year agreement. So, I was put into contact through Connect with a professor at Chatham University who heads up their business and sustainability development program for graduate level students. So he puts together cohorts every semester, I guess. Of just different projects in the region and ways to integrate the students into the workforce, into local governments, into business. And he reached out, asking if we had any ideas. I threw the idea of maybe his students could take a look at our agreement, reach out to other regions, other COGs, other communities, not just in Pennsylvania, but elsewhere, and see what their agreements are doing. And he's gonna sprinkle in the idea of how do we divert more waste, from landfills? How do we get more recycling numbers up? Maybe composting. So we'll, if the board's interested, we can engage with this cohort this semester. It's free of charge. It's just really, a little bit of the executive director's time and probably a meeting or two where they come and just present their findings. But really, we just sort of give them the materials, give them a few talking points that we want them to focus on, and they take the wheel from there. And this will be for the spring, early January timeframe for them to start. And we would offer them time to present to our board, like a final presentation and some best practices. So they provided a draft scope of work here. Hopefully everyone had a chance to take a look at it. And summary here, if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer as best I can. But they really need an answer from us, like either yes or no at this meeting. Because again, if they don't have an opportunity to work with us, he needs to find another program for his students to work with next semester. So again, the idea is let's utilize this group of students to help us do a little bit of the legwork. And you'll see the next agenda item is launching our recycling and garbage contract committee. So hopefully we can integrate them in some way, shape, or form. And again, let's use some talented young minds that are interested in sustainability and see how they can help us out. So that's the request. It's up to you guys. But yeah, any thoughts, any comments, questions?
I think it's fantastic. I read through everything the other day. Because our Avalon meeting is always the day before this, so I have to give a COG update kind of on stuff I've only read about. But they were really thought it was a good idea because we do have the contract coming up. And it'd be really great to get, this is kind of like free labor to us. And you never know what they're gonna come up with, a free, new set of eyes and thinking, and who knows, they could come up with some solution to waste management. But yeah, I think it's a good.
I'll just say, in my day job, we do this quite often, engage with colleges, for these type of projects, and they always bring something interesting to the table and just kind of out of touch with. So I think it's a great idea. We've had a lot of success. I work for Dick's Sporting Goods corporate, and we've brought in different engagements like this, and they've done a really nice job and brought things to the table. And to your point, it's good legwork. There's a lot of reach and resources they have to be able to track things down that, quite frankly, we could probably use the help with.
I love the idea, and I love that it came through Connect as well, because I think Connect was part of the public policy school at Pitt. And I think now they're on their own, but I think that one of the interesting roles for a COG is to engage with the academic community, so because they just have the new ideas, and they're the next generation of leaders. So to give them the opportunity to see what we're working on and to put their viewpoints in, I think is a great way for us to even give to them. So I'm fully in favor.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, so if there's no other, if there's no other questions, we'll take a motion to engage in the partnership with Chatham University for the development of the sustainability engagement toolkit. Art in a second. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thanks, everybody. Sounds good. We'll move forward to item B here, formation of the Waste and Recycling Contract Committee.
I'll make this item real quick for you guys. Basically, we need to form a little committee to help me out. It can be made up of elected officials, board members, managers, secretaries, public works, anyone that's interested to help our communities put together the next generation of bid specs. So that's really the request.
When I was reading this the other day, or particularly the item with, Chatham, I remember some of our communities do have their own, garbage program. Is it Maria that was telling us they were gonna buy a new garbage?
Yes.
He still does
It's
this.
like, but I was telling our council last night that, one of these two items included finding out why they are independent and could we pull them in? But I couldn't remember what boroughs they were. Oh,
We-
sorry, back to the, what we're really talking about. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know who else is at the end of their term, because I know this December is the end of my term, so you'll have somebody new from, Avalon next year. So I can't be on the committee, so I don't know. If there are other people here that are ending their term, but I am.
Patrick, I'd like to be on that committee.
It's something I see.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Patrick, I'll volunteer for this also.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Alan.
We're not, Ben Avon Heights isn't participating in this because we had to bridge our contract, but I'll be willing to help providing information
Great, thanks, Steve.
with our process. Thank you.
And again, if any of your communities, other elected officials or other managers you think would be good fits for this, or if your communities have had bad experiences, maybe with the current waste and recycling hauler or previous haulers, this is an opportunity to sort of craft the language and specs to something that you all want to see. So I think it'll be a fun exercise, and we have plenty of time to get out ahead of this. See where we can take it.
Thank you to those who volunteered. Do we need a motion to approve the commit start? Okay. So I'll take a motion to form the waste and recycling contract committee.
Second.
Okay, and we have 3 volunteers. Thank you. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Moving on swiftly to item C, approval of the CDBG year 52 concurring resolutions.
Yep, so we have total 4 projects to date, but I expect a couple more trickle in here before the end of the month. So every project needs its own concurring resolution that's approved. You can see there's an example of one here. So more or less, we can do a blanket approval for any project that gets submitted before November 30th, because we don't know which projects haven't been already submitted. So yeah, that's the request, and like I said, we have 4 to date, but I'd anticipate at least 2 or 3 more to trickle in.
So
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, well, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the CDBG year 52 concurring resolutions. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Moving on to item D, approval of Act 152 application concurring resolution.
Yeah, so this is actually retroactive. So we applied for Bellevue Borough's Act 152 program last month. But this is the first meeting we had since the application was requested to be submitted. So we uploaded an IOU certificate basically in the county's portal. So this is just formalizing the request. We'll have Julie and I will sign it, then we'll get to the county. So that way the application is totally full and submitted. So again, this is retroactive. Already was applied for a project in Bellevue Borough, seeking $90,000.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Stanley?
sorry.
All right, any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Item E, approval of local share account authorized official resolution.
Similar vein, so local share account requires an authorized official resolution similar to the last two projects, similar to the last two agenda items. This deadline is on the 30th of November. So far, we've had one application that's been requested for us to submit. But I gotta leave it open if we have another application or two that trickle in here. The one that has been submitted to date is Glen Osborne Burrows Beaver Road retaining wall. So this is one of the last items that we need to submit that application. And again, if your communities are interested, we still have a little time here, but it's starting out quick.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
All right, any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Let's move on to old business. Item A, consideration of community welcome signage proposal from Michael Baker International.
So as everyone might recall, this is going back 3 or 4 months now. We had an opportunity to approve an allocation of budgeted funds. And understand, if a community is gonna build some welcome signs, whether it's along the boulevard, whether it's at various entry points in their communities. What are some best practices? Who do they contact? What should they do? What materials should be made out of? What are the sizes? Different speed limits, so on and so forth. So more or less, we allocated $3,500. But after meeting with Michael Baker, it wasn't gonna be quite enough to make something happen. So they gave us a formal proposal, and this has been on and off for a couple months. Again, this is a really small project in their realm, but we've built up a really nice relationship over the years with them. So they are charging a little more than the $3,500, but I think they're charging a lot less than they would for other clients of theirs. So the proposals here, they're outlining everything they'll do for us, what the product will be, time scales, sort of breakdown of their hourly salary and how many hours of work this is going to take them. So the entire project with everything outlined within the proposal will be $6,130. I wanted to bring this back to the board because again, the board approved $3,500. Wasn't quite enough for them to play ball. So I wanted to make sure that you guys got the last say here if you want to go forward with it. But at the same time, I want to highlight that this would be paid for through our capital project fund. We've built up a nice cushion there, and that's really your money, right? And it's about, we haven't spent a lot of that capital fund in my 5 years here, and this is an opportunity for us to, again, take some of the money that you guys have built up in our shared fund and spend it back on you. So this is, ideally, this is a project that all 17 communities can utilize at some point. It might not be this year, might not be next year, but somewhere in time, you're probably gonna have a welcome sign update. And hopefully this strategy, this template can be of use when that time comes. So that is
So I have just a comment about this. So Patrick and I meet once a week to talk about the cog business. And we were talking about our capital budget, which right now has about $140,000 in it. So this is exactly the kind of project I think that is like what I mean when I say like we can make the cog whatever we want it to be. Like this is something that we can just take a little bit of money, not very much, out of that capital budget to get some signage that is important for placemaking, which was the part of the design guide that it was one of the goals of the design guide was to create like more of a cohesive placemaking and design by using the same type of design in our signage on the boulevard. So, I personally think we should go ahead with this, and it will take, it's not gonna wrap up till like May, right? So it's gonna be a process, but those are my thoughts on it. I just wanted to give you an idea of what the total capital budget right now is 140,000, so this is a small portion.
I mean, I would also agree that we should go forward with it. It is a small amount of money. And I feel like you do, Julie, that we're kind of like really rolling right now. When I was reading the agenda the other night about, everything that's going on and it's kind of coming together with Chatham and Waste Management and contracts, and it's all like, oh, that all works together, and we've been working with Michael Baker forever. And then when Manchester kind of joined in with us this year, I think this is kind of one of the next steps to show our communities, like, this is one of our goals. Here's a tool that you can physically use if you want.
Any other comments? Okay, then I think we should bring this to a vote to consider if we want to do this. So I'll take a motion to approve the new proposal from Michael Baker.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Moving on to item B, consideration of civic mapper proposal for professional services related to trail and greenways mapping, another amazing proposal.
So today was definitely day of themes, right?
Yeah.
So this was sort of the piecemealing of 3 or 4 different presentations over the last couple of meetings. Some to the board, some to the managers group. So you might recall, Hollow Oak Land Trust, their executive director came out and spoke to the group about a lot of projects that really I wasn't even familiar with, as far as trail development, trail access, potential trail development. And OHM advisors spoke to our managers group about what their organization does. And they mentioned trail access, and I was, well, let's see if we can combine the two of those. And then after we all got together as a group, spoke about it, I was like, wait a second, they're talking a lot about GIS mapping. Well, we have a GIS mapping consultant, so I brought Civic Mapper, and we had all 3 of them plus us on the call. And we thought there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen here. We've worked with Civic Mapper as a cog for a decade almost. Instead of having OHM do everything from start to finish, why don't we have the very first phase of this? Let's figure out what's out there. What trails exist? What easements exist? What data out there is in the realm of Allegheny County or, the conservation districts in the area? And let's bring all that into one cog map, like we've done over the years with our cog development maps. So I got the call with Civic Mapper, and they're proposing they can do all that. Again, they'll build a survey for us that after they develop all this aggregate the data, we can add to it. We can, something's going on in Killbuck Township or Emsworth or Swickley, we can add those things to it and sort of internalize more of that, not have to rely on the consultants much. And this would give us that first step where down the road, if we want to work with a planning agency like OHM advisors, we can show them, hey, we have this, and you can take us to the next step. We would obviously be working with Hollow Oak to aggregate their data in the system. And down the road, there's a lot of grants that a cog can't apply for. But trail developers like Allegheny County Land Trust and Hollow Oak Land Trust, they can. So we can utilize groups like that.
Sorry, they can.
They can't. Yeah, they can actually get the money to develop those trails where maybe cogs aren't necessarily the usual suspects for that. So this is just the first seed into that long-term plan. We need to understand what's out there. So the proposal is our current GIS consultant, Civic Mapper, will do this for $3,800. And then this will give us something in our back pocket down the road to really take, regional grant planning to the next level.
Does anyone have any comments?
Just another great proposal.
All right, then I'll take a motion to accept this proposal.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. And finally, our last item under old business, consideration of organizational engagement with urban plan.
Yeah, so you guys might recall the kickoff to last month's meeting, we had some representatives, they're really volunteers. Urban Land Institute. These are professionals in academia, municipal governance, and the private sector. And they put on workshops, and these are typically 15 to 30 people in a sort of all-day workshop. And they engage with us to try to see if this region was interested in doing that. Now, maybe we are, but I've reached out, Julie's been reaching out to see what the headcount would look like, because again, sort of like the Chatham thing. They need to know, are we in or are we out, because they need to figure out new locations for 2026. I was able to cobble together a few, Julie cobbled together a few. I haven't really heard any other interest. So I don't want to waste their time. And this, if it's something we want to build upon. Now we have that introduction, so next year, you know, this isn't the first time that we're hearing about it. We can take those people that said they'd be interested this year, carry it over to next year. Maybe we can get to that 15 or 20 number, because that's really what they need to make it work. Maybe you got, I mean, again, I'll turn it over to the group here on Zoom and in person. If there is 15 people in the region, again, 1 or 2 from each community would get us there. Let's move forward with it. I'll keep that conversation going with them, but I don't want to keep them hanging. You know, I want to make sure they're able to do right by their volunteers and their organization. So I'll really turn it over to the group here for their thoughts.
What was the deadline for them for?
It's really today. Like, we need to let them know.
Oh, okay, because when I presented it last night to our board. I know Leanne was very interested and asked me to read through like who all the target audience there. I had reread that and it seemed something that she had an idea maybe of attending for people in our borough that might want to attend. I didn't know the deadline was like kind of ish today, or I would have had her reach out.
Okay, we did come up with a few people in Swiftly who were interested, and we wanted to invite people also from our planning commission and chamber of commerce. Well, we have a lot of appointments to make for new, like people who are cycling off of our commissions. So we thought about waiting until we make those new appointments. But, you know, if you think that we have interest tonight, Patrick, if you think we have enough interest that you would want to get back to them and say, if we do have interest, I think if we put the date out far enough, like, let's say we made the date for like March or something, then we would have some time to ask our new people. But I don't know if we can commit 15 people tonight.
We're trying to get a lot, Patrick has tried to get a lot, I think we need to pass on this one, just. You can always pick it up next year, you made the opening to them, so I think that's good. But there's limits, we're all volunteers, more or less.
Anybody on Zoom, thoughts, comments?
Ben Avon Heights would be a no. We're spending a lot of calories on Joint Planning Commission and Zoning Commission or zoning ordinance early next year. I think we have our hands full with some other similar projects. We would be a no.
Patrick from Edgeworth, I could get you definitely 1, potentially 2, but I know that probably doesn't equal your 15, but we would do 1 for sure whenever it is, whether it's now or a year from now, whatever the case may be.
And just to clarify, that would be for like now for Ben Avon Heights early next year.
Well, why don't we table it? I think, yeah, let's table it.
Let's not forget us.
Let's put a reminder out in the spring to revisit this and then maybe we can go around again and see if we could generate more interest. And maybe if there are new people on councils too, then they're trained up a bit and they might wanna do something like this.
Yeah, I'm pretty close with Brandon, so he was one of the volunteers that came out here, a former boss of mine, so I'll let him know. I don't think there'll be any hard feelings. I just want to make sure that they have leeway to find other places for people.
Yeah. Okay, then we don't need a vote for that, is that correct? Then we will move on to our final item here, other concerns by delegates.
We'll play popcorn real quick. How about Hunter, start us off in Sewickley Hills.
No new concerns to offer tonight.
Right on. Art, what's new in Aleppo?
Well, we're in the I think we're at the last process of replacing our secretary. We've passed away, like, very big surprise. Gwen has been doing, main dishwasher and other changes. And of course, we lost, Dan Dara from death as well, so it's, been a, I won't say an upheaval, but it's, something we have to move on, and finding people that quality level is not easy. But we got one, maybe two, and we've just had a new person get sworn in last week or the week before, replacing Dan, so he'll be in that slot for 2 years.
All right. Roberta, what's new in Avalon?
Well, the good news is that, Elizabeth Avenue, which is a very main thoroughfare, from Route 65 up into the boroughs, will be being paved with grant money, all grant money. Unfortunately, well, they have to do it sometime. It's gonna start early December. So closing that kind of main thoroughfare off would be pretty traumatic for everyone, but it's brick right now. And over the years, particularly with people at the top of Elizabeth, and this is like a half block from my house, have been to council asking for resolutions all the time because it is so loud for them and people's speed. And so yeah, when I literally got a hug from one of my neighbors when I told her I was out walking the dog, and I was like, I haven't seen you. You have been up to complain about the road and the speed and everything, but it is getting paved. And she was like, ah, and just like,
We thought, hey, but Nancy, the speed go up.
Yeah.
well, oh, so
Yeah,
thank
nice
you.
and smooth then.
We will be having some sort of speed items. I don't know if they're gonna be speed bumps. We did purchase one of the signs, the digital signs.
Sure.
We have it up on the heights, Avalon Heights right now. It is movable, but there will definitely be some speed reduction item on Elizabeth, whether it comes from the grant or it comes from our funding. Cause I was like, I have to bug you and insist that happens. So yeah, if the speed
Yeah,
will just be.
It's called traffic quieting is the thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
speed humps, not bumps.
and also, in our agenda tonight, when I was reading about, Glenn Osborne got a generator for the light on 65 Riverview, is that correct? One of my colleagues asked me last night if that is something we could look into all along 65. And maybe the particularly dangerous intersections, and Dan can back me up on this, the intersection in Bellevue at McDonald's is super ultra bad. And they lose power there a lot, and the power's out for extended periods. And also, sometime in the last 2 or 3 weeks, one of the Avalon police officers was coming into work, and at the McDonald's intersection, somebody just turned right in front of them, and he's gonna be out for at least 6 to 8 months. And he is terribly injured. But anyways, that was at that intersection. And when the electric goes out in Bellevue in that area, it's often out for a long time. So, I know that would be an, intersection, I would say, if that's something we could fund or look into, or however Glenfield went around, went about it. I have no idea where they got the funds. But maybe consider that avenue for some other lights through the cog. So that was a request.
Sounds like a meeting with PennDOT is in.
Yeah.
That's favorite.
And that work already has all three of our signal flow generators.
So you do.
Oh, that's good.
Firemen go down, start them up, keep them fueled. They do a great job with them. We actually, during the last big power outage,
Yeah.
5 days or whatever. They had that post police because people came down with bolt cutters and wanted our generators.
Oh, my.
They're portable generators, so they wanted to see how
Right.
portable they were. Actually, one of the firemen happened to be going past.
So-
And all of them just said, that's not a good idea. They left.
Oh, my God.
Swell. All right, Donna, what's new in Lee?
We heard about the grant, which we're totally thrilled about because that whole complex area where Public Works Department houses pretty much everything. Everything needs to have something done there. So the building from the last grant that we had received and now to have this other complex would be great. Now, the other thing, when I came off as emergency management for LEAD, Dave Volk took over. I've since been reappointed his deputy because he's out of town a lot, I'm out of town. So between one or the other, somebody's there. But Dave is going to do something I did many years ago, and it does have to do with Norfolk Southern as well. He wants to get together all the emergency management coordinators and basic emergency services folks, fire, police, whoever would like to come and attend that. Now, when I had it, the high school was gracious enough, Quaker Valley, to let me hold it there in the auditorium. So once Dave gets a good idea or a good idea on approximately how many people are coming, that will depend upon then what venue we look for. So anyway, there's going to be basic training. There will be folks there for folks Southern as well. So it will be, I think, a good session.
Is there a date for that?
Well, hopefully January 5th. But he's just now, we're putting everything together.
And are you emailing managers to ask their emergency coordinators?
We've contacted everybody. We have a list from
Okay.
Allegheny
Oh,
County.
wow,
So
okay.
we're doing it through that.
Wow.
And yes, we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. If I get more information and a definite venue, et cetera, can I let you know?
We'll get the word out.
Okay, that's it.
Great, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Joel, what's new in Glenfield?
Can you hear me all right?
We can.
A lot. We're very excited about the grant as well. And that's echoing the brick roads that I was hearing about earlier. That is a major since I've lived there now for 10 or 12 years, East Beaver has just been a nightmare going up and down it. So it's very exciting to get that grant money. And very thankful that you guys were able to help us out with that. The rest of our council is basically all turned over this year. I think we only had one seat that was not up for election. So it was a competitive election, which was new for us as well. And we had some people that were longtime council members or newer council members that wanted to go again and unfortunately didn't make it. So we're excited to see what the new council has to offer and might get, some more help. It's nice to have some community buy-in. So we're excited for the new year.
Great, thank you for the update. Ellen, what's new in Edgeworth?
Hi guys, sorry that I joined late. I had another meeting and it's been a very hectic week, but nothing all that news going on in Edgeworth. The biggest news for us is that Way Hollow Road is officially completed and PennDOT is done with their work and the turnback process has almost wrapped up. So the road is going to be turned over to the borough as soon as PennDOT officials sign their name on the line. So that's exciting. It was 5 years in the making and we're very glad that it is over. Otherwise, just budget time for us and looking forward to the new year.
I'm not sure if you heard earlier, but you guys got $251,000 for the traffic light.
I did not hear that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'll get little formal emails out to everybody, but I found out yesterday afternoon and wanted to make sure the group here heard first. So yeah, you guys got a nice chunk of money for the traffic light.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it.
All right. Daryl, doing Killbuck.
Now, we had a memorial service for Harry Dillmore, who was the manager, and Patrick was there. Thank you for coming. For many years, both in Avalon and then eventually into Killbuck. So he passed away this last year. So we had dedicated a tree to him, actually 2 trees.
Nice.
So, and then we finished up a project, a joint project with Ben Evan Heights. Finally got Courtney Mill done. So we're all happy about that. And, I think Steve's happy too. So,
Yeah.
that's all we get.
Awesome. Thanks again. Julie, what's new in Swiftly?
We will be having our annual light up night on December 5th, Friday, December 5th. Everyone's invited. It'll be from 5 to 8:30 PM. We have all the usual fun and games, bands and 20 food trucks, fireworks. We have, our horse and carriage rides, and so we just pray for good weather and everyone's invited, so stop down, please.
Awesome, thank you. Paul. I like it. Diane, what's new in Glen Osborne?
Well, we are absolutely delighted with our new public works contractor, Brian Brown Property Maintenance. So that's going very well. And right now, we are waiting to find out election results. We had a lot of write-ins, and the county is still counting votes. So we're not sure who some of our elected officials are going to be. So there are a lot of changes among our council members. So it'll be an interesting year. And last night, we adopted the police services agreement with Wickley Police. So we're always happy about that. And that's about everything right now.
Thank you so much. Tavia, what's new in Ben Ave?
Don't think we have any concerns this month.
Thank you. All right, Steve, did we go, do you at Ben Evan Heights?
Yeah, we sympathize with the write-ins, are very happy to that we got a lot of votes, but yeah, it's also have quite a few positions that have to be counted by the county, and we've been through this before as a small borough, so it's going to take us some time too. But feel like we have kind of some intel as we went down and read the votes ourselves off the ticket. It was on the it was in posted on the election station. So, but besides that, our park beautification project is in full gear. We have a sketch of what we think we're going to present pretty soon to the community. We're moving forward to have that put into a rendering. And pretty excited. We have a walking trail proposed, playground equipment, new playground equipment, a pavilion, upgraded borders, and some repaving to do. So it's going to be a long project that we're going to have to phase in multiple years. It's going to be pretty expensive, and we're going to rely on a lot of grants and some other funding that we have saved up. So we're real excited about that and bringing that the project master plan in front of the community early next year. And then we're lining our sewers again with our phase 2. It's been a little more tricky this time around. Just more resident complaints and some unearthed some things with some old pipes, 100 years that we were lucky that the first phase we didn't see as much of it. So working through all those things, but those are the big things that are happening in the borough. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, Dan, how about Bellevue?
He had to step out. I don't know if you saw it. in the-
Oh, I didn't. I think we got everybody. Anyone that didn't
You think we got?
highlight everything?
I forgot to mention that we got a Giant Eagle Pharmacy, our Rite Aid.
Yeah, right.
The Rite Aid went out of business and Giant Eagle started a standalone pharmacy. It opened last week.
Oh.
And it's amazing. It's like a mini grocery store in there. There's like, they have produce, they have, I mean, you can make dinner from the food that they have in there. It's amazing.
Oh,
So check it out. And they opened one in Mount Washington, then Swickley was their second location, and I think they're like scouting out other Rite Aid locations to open similar businesses. It's very different. It's like a new type of business because there's so much fresh food in there. It's really neat.
Great.
Sorry,
I have one
digressed.
thing that I forgot as well, which is that Swickley Hills was able to extend our garbage waste contract by 1 year. So we are now aligned with where the QB cog is. So we may be able to make use of that contract when it comes up.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
awesome. That's great. That's big news.
Yeah, that's very great.
Yeah, we'll definitely love to have you involved with the new specs and yeah, that's awesome. Big news.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Happy holiday.
Thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.